and main agents for Virgin, KLM and Air France. We're specialists to the Middle East. Walk in to our ticket office at Morris Bishop Highway, call 439-4444, WhatsApp 534-7755 or visit caribjet.com.
Hello and welcome to the MTV Evening News, of course, for Monday, the 4th of September. The news headlines coming to you in association with Quartz Grenada Limited.
Switch to a Ready Cash loan today. Bring your loan to us and get 25% off your interest rate. Get flexible payment terms, fast approval, and hassle-free service, so you can do all the important things you need with ease. All you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, job letter, and 2 references. Visit us in-store or apply online at www.shopquartz.com. Quartz Ready Cash. We are ready when you are. Conditions apply.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCour Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Coming up in the news this evening, the Ministry of Education launches its free tuition program. The public outcry over vandalism of signs at Seamoon Bridge. Government minister involved in vehicular accident over the weekend. And in sport, Karani James grabs gold at Diamond League. We'll have details to those and other stories coming up for you, right along with the public forecast information. And it's all after the break. Stay with us.
The first segment of the MTV Evening News comes to your compliments Nexa Credit Union. With you wherever your road leads.
But when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me, yes, I can. Whenever you're in need, yes, you can. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true. Next side, next side, next side, right next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Good evening, I'm Tony Julian with the details. Education Minister David Andrew is encouraging students to see the new school year as a fresh start and to use the chance to set achievable academic goals. In an address on Monday, Minister Andrew stated that the government is particularly excited about the 2023-2024 school year, as they've implemented several measures which will benefit all students. Meanwhile, the free tuition program was launched on Monday at the Grenada Trade Center. But let's get more in this report.
A transformative milestone for the government of Grenada as the launch of the Tertiary Education Tuition Scholarship Program was held on Monday at the Grenada Trade Center. The event was attended by government officials and over 100 students of the T.A. Marisho Community College. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell urged the students to embrace every available opportunity.
And so I want to encourage all of you who are at NULO and TAMCC to appreciate that if I can manage to squeeze through, you can manage to squeeze through as well. Because it's not just about the academics or the skills training, it's also perhaps more importantly about building your character and building who you are. Because who you are is actually more important than what you do. And so the government's free tuition school policy is just one of the many things that the government must address in order to ensure that we give you the opportunity to create the Grenada. So this investment in you is about ensuring that you can create what Grenada should become. Not what I want it to be, not what your parents want it to be, not what your parents wanted it to be, but what you want Grenada to be. And so we have an obligation to you to ensure that we give you the opportunity to do that.
Education Minister Honorable David Andrew delivered an address on Monday marking the start of the new school year. He encouraged the students to see the 2023-2024 academic year as a fresh start and use the opportunity to set achievable goals. The Education Minister stated that government is particularly excited about this school year as they have implemented several measures that will benefit all students. Prime Minister Mitchell says government remains committed to fulfilling its mandate to implement programs that would open doors for the youth.
And we recognize that as a small country with limited natural resources, our best, only, and greatest asset is you. And therefore, we must invest in you. We must give you the opportunity to become who you want to be so that you can shape the future of this island.
TAMCC Principal Dr. Ronald Brunton says this is an investment in education.
Numerous research studies on the role of tertiary education and post-secondary education on national development in low and lower middle income countries have found that post-secondary education and tertiary level education contribute directly as well as indirectly to the following key development outcomes, including enhanced graduate skills, knowledge, and preparedness for the workforce.
The free tuition program supports the students from preschool through tertiary education. For MTV News, I am Lishel Murray.
While Met officials confirm that Grenada continues to experience a heat wave, health officials are urging teachers and parents alike to take steps to ensure that students are properly hydrated as they return to the classroom for the new school year. Troy Gill has more.
With hundreds of students returning to the classroom on Monday, Executive Secretary at the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council, Lydia Brown, is encouraging parents and teachers to ensure students are properly hydrated as Grenada continues to experience a heat wave. Speaking to MTV News on Monday, Brown says students will also have to contend with intense heat in the classroom and during their daily activities.
Now, sometimes the children are allowed to drink during break time and maybe during the lunch time, but they may need to take in more fluids because the schools aren't air conditioned, and so the children are sitting in a situation where their bodies are still generating a lot of heat because of the temperature outside. So I think we have to kind of rethink things and not have the children just drink willy-nilly, but maybe give them breaks in between where they can have some fluids, that they can take in some fluids, particularly water.
On Monday, the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture issued a statement advising parents and guardians to take precautionary measures by providing students with extra water to ensure that they remain hydrated, providing snacks or lunches that are light and refreshing. The statement further urged teachers to monitor students carefully while in the classroom. Brown believes parents and teachers can implement measures to ensure students' safety and well-being.
So the schools can make sure that at the lunchrooms, water is prepared, and it doesn't have to be just plain water because the children may not be inclined to drink a lot of plain water. But they need to take, I would say, anyway from the preschoolers about 5 cups during the course of the day, and for the older children, maybe even up to 6 to 8 cups during the course of the day. But they can flavor the water with some of our herbs and spices, mint, some of things like cucumbers, watermelon.
If students are not adequately hydrated, especially in the midst of a heat wave, it can negatively impact their learning, Brown says.
So if we're not putting in water, but we're losing, and we know you can sweat tremendously just from walking outside to coming into this building. In the morning when I come in, I have to say we have to put on the air condition because I'm so hot, right? So we know that the children is going to feel hot. They may not voice it, but we know for ourselves how we're feeling. So they may not perform as well in school. They may feel lethargic. They wouldn't have the energy that they need to have, although water don't give us energy, but it allows us to utilize what we put in efficiently so that we can get the energy so that we can output.
Met officials has confirmed that Grenada continues to experience a heat wave with temperatures 31.7 degrees Celsius or higher, expecting light winds and low rainfall at least for the next 3 days. For MTV News, Troy Gill.
His Majesty's opposition greeted the first day of the new school year, meanwhile, with a live back-to-school hour of prayer session with several religious leaders from around the island. That session was facilitated by former Education Minister Emmeline Pear, as she highlighted the significance of the day's activity. That's praying for the nation's children and teachers alike. We have more details from Donella Houston.
We ask, dear God, that you will bless us. We are grateful that you kept us through the past year in terms of academic school year. And now we give you thanks, thanking you at the beginning for what you will do through your students, through the teachers, through those that work in administration and every other phase of the school area. We pray, God, for blessings. We pray for protection.
That was Dr. Philip Bonaparte during Monday morning's back-to-school hour of prayer, organized by His Majesty's opposition. Dr. Clinton Lewis shared a prayer for the principals.
This morning, dear God, in a particular way, we want to place before you our principals as we begin this new term, this new school year. Oh God, we pray that every principal would recognize the sacred responsibility that is upon them to manage their institution, where so many of the young lives of our nation are, where they're receiving an education and a molding.
Pastor Jared Keynes Douglas, with conviction, prayed for direction as the students go forward into the new school term.
And so, Father, cover the homes this morning. Let the peace and grace of the Lord Jesus dominate their lives. Let them call upon you in this time of anxiety. You said, call upon you in the day of trouble, and you would hear and answer. And so we ask, oh God, that you would cause our parents to seek the Lord while he may be found.
In a release issued by the New National Party, opposition leader Dr. Keith Mitchell reminded students, teachers, and parents that, and I quote, "We are not just building classrooms, we are building a nation fortified by the values of integrity, respect, and excellence. As we venture into this new academic year, let's carry forth an unyielding spirit of optimism and unity." End of quote. The opposition leader is further quoted as saying, "Education is not just the cornerstone of individual growth, but also a beacon of hope and a catalyst for national development." Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Houston.
There is public outcry after the vandalization of recently erected road signs close to the Simoon Pearls Bridge in St. Andrew. Reports are that the two signs were vandalized over the weekend, mere days after they were installed. MTV's Troy Gill is following that story.
The perfectly new signs, which read "No trucks or heavy vehicles allowed," were erected close to the Simoon Pearls Bridge last week. This is what it looked like then, and now part of it has disappeared at the hands of vandalizers. Residents from Simoon and surrounding communities took to social media over the weekend to express their disgust over the actions of an unknown perpetrator or perpetrators and called on citizens to take better care of the island's infrastructure. The bridge, which serves residents from the communities of Simoon and Pearls, was closed for repairs for over 6 months and reopened last Thursday to motorists and pedestrians. The two signs were erected as a way to deter heavy vehicles from driving across the bridge, hoping that they would revert to using alternative routes to preserve the durability of the structure. Our news team sought a comment from Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, Andy Williams. However, he indicated that he is still awaiting an update on the incident. The minister alluded to the situation in his social media post, encouraging citizens to be mindful of their behavior and not engage in activities that are counterproductive. Unconfirmed reports are that the signs were vandalized on Saturday evening. MTV News contacted the Community Relations Department within the Royal Grenada Police Force to ascertain whether anyone was detained or arrested. However, up until news time, we did not receive any information. For MTV News, Troy Gill.
MP for the town of St. George, Peter David, is calling on a faster approach in rebuilding the road at H.A. Blaze Street, St. George's, where part of a structure collapsed on the 14th of July 2023 after heavy rainfall. In a recent interview with MTV News, David said it's almost 2 months in and work should have already commenced. He says this situation should be treated as an emergency.
It's my view that by now, at least some work should have been started on that road. That road, anybody traversing the town of St. George, in fact, to get from the town of St. George to anywhere else on the west coast, you have to pass there. You have to pass there to get to the Carenage. So it is my view that by now, work should have commenced. It should be treated as an emergency. And to see that it is in still the same position as it was when it happened a couple of months ago, to me is disappointing. So I call on the Ministry of Works to move fast to rectify the problem so that people in the area can traverse the street without impediment.
The flooding in River Road is another issue the residents in River Road are faced with at this time. In the meantime, the PM for the town of St. George says the last phase of the project should commence immediately.
In addition to that, the project in River Road, again, I understand what the Prime Minister said about the bridges, have to redesign and have to go back out to tender because of the problem. But we need to get that project done urgently. As I said in Parliament, and I repeat here, had it not been for the walls that were put up, River Road would have flooded in a very dangerous way when the rains fell a couple of months ago. Today, we are still waiting for areas of the wall to be completed, and we are waiting on the bridges to be done. And while the Prime Minister assured us that they're doing it, it is our view in the town of St. George, and as MP for the town of St. George, that enough attention is not being put to it, and it's not being treated with the urgency that I believe it should be treated.
The MTV News sought an update from the Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, Andy Williams. He stated that the work will begin soon.
But concerning the road on H.A. Street, we have completed the designs for the road, and it's out to tender, and the process is ongoing. So in a few weeks, we will get the bids in, and we will do an evaluation, and a quick approval so that we can get it going as quick as possible.
That's a first segment of the news. We'll be back with you after the break.
The first segment of the MTV Evening News came to you in association with Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
When you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me, yes, I can. Whenever you're in need, yes, you can. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide, the light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true. Next side, next side, next side, right next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Everyone wants money, don't you? The National Lotteries Authority's Lotto Jackpot is $180,000. Play today for chances at improving your life. Lotto. Play and win a lot of money.
with an Accel Back to School loan. Visit today or call us on 435-8222.
Ring, 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 back to school loan thing. Accel Finance help you joy of learning.
Your new Grenlec bill is even easier to read and still has all the valuable information you need to track and manage your usage.
Hey Mom, okay, your friendly tech support is here. So you got the new Grenlec bill? Let's take a look. The new bill makes it even easier to see your bill total, the due date, and much more. And take a closer look. It actually is a lot easier to understand. Let me show you. You can still see exactly what the charges are for, but in a great new format, it even shows how the cost of generating and delivering the electricity to you is calculated using your actual usage. And Mom, let Lucy know she can check out Grenlec's new Understanding Your Bill video. Anyway, look who says hi, and see you soon.
Your new Grenlec bill, easier to understand and easier to track your usage.
The second segment of the MTV Evening News comes to you in association with the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited.
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited has the credit cards to suit your needs. Choose any one of our 3 Visa credit cards, Classic, Infinite, or Signature, and enjoy the affordability, security, and convenience they all offer. Get value for your money with Visa Reward Points. The more you spend, the more points you earn. Co-op Bank is giving you options. You have the choice. We've got the cards. Tailor-made just for you. Visit www.grenadacoopbank.com for more information or call or visit any one of our retail banking units.
Welcome home. Welcome back. News of an accident allegedly involving a government minister was plastered all over social media on Saturday evening, with many citizens expressing concern about the recovery of the young man who was said to have been injured. Amidst these speculations, a release was issued by the Government Information Service GIS on Saturday night, confirming that at around 5:30 p.m. on Saturday, Minister with responsibility for youth, sport and culture, Ron Redhead, was involved in a vehicular collision with a teenager who was riding his bicycle in the community of Willis. According to the release, no serious injuries were reported. However, as a precautionary measure, the young cyclist was taken to the General Hospital for assessment and observation. The release further states that all parties concerned are now safe, and they're urging motorists and pedestrians alike to exercise due caution and responsibility while using the nation's roads. On Sunday, a video of the accident was shared via Facebook, with many Grenadians sharing their interpretation of what had transpired. A marine biologist reveals a new method that can potentially address the influx of sargassum on Grenada's coasts. The idea is to trap and collect that type of seaweed before it can make its way to our shores, as we hear now from Troy Gill.
Director at the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority and lecturer at St. George's University, Dr. Stephen Nimrod, speaking to MTV News on Monday, reveals that the oil fence or floating barrier used out at sea can be used to trap and remove sargassum, a type of seaweed that continues to make its way to Grenada's shores, posing a challenge for residents and fishermen along the eastern coast. This new development follows a recent workshop held at Grand Mall, where solid waste officials and other stakeholders witnessed a demonstration of the fence. Dr. Nimrod believes this approach will help protect Grenada's coastal areas from the impact of seaweed.
So the idea behind the oil fence is this is a technology that has been used to contain and manage oil spills. However, we are trying to adapt it here for combating the sargassum seaweed, but offshore. So the idea is to trap it offshore, and in trapping it offshore, it can possibly make it, or potentially make it, easier to remove with less sand and other things that will generally impede it.
Once the equipment is procured, including the fence and boats that will be used during the process, they can begin to remove the seaweed out at sea.
In terms of how soon this can be implemented, it's all dependent on the availability of the equipment. At the moment, we do have some of the oil fences, and again, the oil fences is in units which you can combine. However, the boats to help with the deployment, because you will need the boats to actually take them out and maneuver them so they can use and entrap or encircle the seaweed. I think they're on their way. So that is all dependent on the equipment, the availability of the equipment.
Dr. Nimrod says this approach is extremely beneficial and will significantly reduce the negative impact on the fishing community, including its pungent odor.
Well, in terms of the benefit of this, we're hoping that it will actually make the removal much easier from the beaches, because at the moment, once it gets onto the beaches, it, as I mentioned earlier, combines with the sand, and it's more difficult to remove them. Additionally, you get more of the dead organisms being incorporated with that, which again poses a public health issue in terms of as these organisms decay along the beaches, which is usually frequented by residents and fishers. So in terms of that, it will help to reduce that risk of decaying and bacteria, and so the levels of bacteria associated with the decay from this.
Once collected, it will be stored in an area where it is less likely to have a negative impact on the environment. For MTV News, Troy Gill.
The free dental clinic facilitated by Great Shape Incorporated, the Ministry of Health, and the Sandals Foundation ended last Friday, the 1st of September. And according to marketing manager at Sandals Grenada, DeLeon Forrester, they were pleased with the turnout at the National Stadium.
Sandals Grenada Resort hosted just over 120 volunteers who came in to assist and provide those free cleanings, fillings, extractions, fluorides, sealants, and for the first time, a total of 32 root canals were also provided. The total for the 2 weeks is 1,268 free services at the Stadium Clinic, which surpassed our target of 1,000. And also, if we add the support provided at Corinth, which reached 589 children, the grand total for the last 2 weeks is 1,857 persons receiving those free services.
Now, although they were unable to send a team of dental surgeons to Carriacou this year, organizers have labeled the 2-week clinic a success. Forrester reiterates the importance of practicing good dental hygiene.
So it's been a stellar 2 weeks, raising awareness of the general public on their oral health, and we hope that persons will continue to take care of themselves, take care of their teeth, their smiles, and just be aware of our health and diet and routines and how it affects our lives. We look forward to hosting Great Shape once again.
That's the second segment of news here on MTV. We still have more to come. Stay with us.
The second segment of the MTV Evening News came to you in association with the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited.
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited has the credit cards to suit your needs. Choose any one of our 3 Visa credit cards, Classic, Infinite, or Signature, and enjoy the affordability, security, and convenience they all offer. Get value for your money with Visa Reward Points. The more you spend, the more points you earn. Co-op Bank is giving you options. You have the choice. We've got the cards. Tailor-made just for you. Visit www.grenadacoopbank.com for more information, or call or visit any one of our retail banking units.
Welcome home. Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
At Bailey's Funeral Home, we understand the pain and grief you experience when you suffer the loss of a loved one. For years, we have helped thousands of families get through that difficult time by providing professional funeral services to meet their unique needs. Whether your choice is cremation or burial, call us or come into our new facility on the Carenage and meet with our arrangers in a spacious and comfortable environment. Choose from a wide variety of quality coffins and caskets at prices from as low as $1,900. At Bailey's Funeral Home, we believe that no one should feel overwhelmed or anxious about funeral expenses. So when it's time to plan a funeral, join a burial society, or make pre-arrangements when service and costs matter, call Bailey's Funeral Home at 440-2558 or visit us at baileysfuneralhome.org. Bailey's Funeral Home, still providing the perfect tribute any family can afford.
It's the 4th edition of Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year promotion, Cuatro Punto Cero. It's unbelievably amazing. You can win free fuel, free drinks, cash prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free cable, TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free passes to Sunshine Promotion events for 2023, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a lunch package. Be sure to fill out the entry forms and enter it into the marked entry boxes at all Hubbard's departments and at participating outlets. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2023. Draws will be held every 2 weeks. Terms and conditions apply. Business in 3 comes to you in association with GIDC, empowering the Spice Isle.
Welcome back. In this week's edition of Business in 3, we hear from a young entrepreneur, Keisha Miller, owner of Living Essentials Luxurious Scents, who shares her story about her business journey and how the GIDC rescued her.
Hi, I'm Keisha Miller, owner of Living Essentials, a handmade skin, hair, and body product business focusing on the use of natural and organic ingredients in our products. I am also the owner of Luxurious Scents, a hand-poured scented candle business. So we're at our newly opened storefront at the Bruce Street Mall in St. George's, where our customers can finally be able to view and purchase the wide range of products that we offer. At Living Essentials, we currently offer 20 products, including our wide range of natural handmade soaps, body oils, body butters, face mask mixes, and body scrubs. At Luxurious Scents, we currently offer 42 different fragrances, and you can get the candles in the form of a jar or our pillar candles. The GIDC has been very instrumental in helping us get to this stage. As a manufacturer, I've been able to benefit from one of the incentive programs that they're currently offering, in that of getting concession on the importation of my raw materials, packaging materials, machinery, amongst other stuff. Getting the concession allowed us to be able to save from the high duties at the port, and we're now able to use those funds and reinvest and further grow the business going forward. So the process was very simple. I submitted my application form along with the supporting documents, and within a week or 2, I was able to receive the benefits of my incentive package. If you're a small business owner, especially a manufacturer like myself, reach out to the GIDC. There are numerous support services available that you can benefit from.
It's the MTV Evening News Monday. Regional highlights are next.
Business in 3 came to you in association with GIDC, empowering the Spy Side.
Do you have or plan to start a business or project in the agribusiness, tourism, health and wellness, ICT, or energy sectors? You too can qualify for investment incentives such as duty-free concessions, tax credits, and tax waivers and exemption. Just fill in the application form, submit all the relevant documents, and your application can be processed in as little as 7 days. It's that simple. Contact us today to know more about investment incentives.
The third segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Request, repay, repeat with Ariza's FlexiCredit Evergreen Loan Facility. Qualify for a FlexiCredit with limits up to $25,000 or use your home equity to qualify for more. Extra cash at your fingertips whenever you need it. Accessed using your debit card and managed using AMI, Ariza's mobile internet experience app. FlexiCredit allows you the flexibility to top up to your approved limit any day, anytime. Already a member? Send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987. New members join today to apply. Request, repay, repeat. Use your FlexiCredit for vacations, shopping, wedding, general expenses, and more. Ariza loan terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Welcome back. Let's now join Clifton James for this evening's Regional News Roundup.
With the Regional Roundup, I am Clifton James. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown says his administration is pushing ahead with plans to launch the inter-regional airline Liat 2020 by November this year and remains hopeful that other regional countries will participate in the new venture. We will always have differences. At the end of the day, we will come to some synthesis of ideas and we will move forward and come to some consensus. So I remain hopeful that at the end of the day, we will find a solution to provide a sustainable regional transportation system for the people of the OCS and the broader CARICOM region, Brown said on his weekend radio programme. Brown said that Liat 2020, for which his administration had already indicated that it is prepared to invest between 15 to 20 million US dollars in the new venture, is seeking to negotiate an agreement with the Principles of Air Peace, a private Nigerian airline founded in 2013 to establish a governing agreement between both carriers. The development comes as St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, last Tuesday said he has received a document from the Barbados-based Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, outlining a proposal for the financing and operation of a regional airline. Bahamas Prime Minister Philip Davis is marking the second anniversary of his ruling Progressive Liberal Party, PLP, by reshuffling his cabinet as well as outlining reforms in immigration. In a nationwide radio and television broadcast, Davis also reflected on a broad range of gains he said his administration intends to build as part of the drive towards a new change. We've made some important progress implementing our blueprint for change, but we know there is still a long way to go, especially in tackling some of the most difficult problems our country has seen and has been facing for a long time, Davis says, adding, change, real change, really comes easily, but we're here to change the status quo, not to defend it. He said, when his government came to office following the September the 16th, 2021, it faced a multiple of urgent crises, including a national debt that had skyrocketed and an economy battered by a series of lockdowns and curfews. The crew of the US Coast Guard USCG cutter Donald Horsley has seized over 1,709 pounds of cocaine during their recent operations in waters southeast of Puerto Rico. According to the USCG, the vessel was on patrol on August the 26th when it interdicted a suspected non-compliant 46-foot go-fast vessel. Following a high-speed chase, the cutter crew apprehended the suspected smugglers and successfully recovered 31 bales of contraband which had been dumped from the go-fast vessel during the pursuit. 3 male smugglers, who are Venezuelan nationals, were detained. The drugs and suspects were handed over to federal law enforcement authorities in San Juan, Puerto Rico on August the 31st. USCG said the seized cocaine is estimated to have a wholesale value of $19 million. The strong collaboration and coordination between our Coast Guard units and our partner law enforcement agencies operating in the Caribbean are instrumental to achieving continued successful outcomes, like in this case, said Captain Jose E. Diaz, Coast Guard Sector San Juan Commander. Our shared resolve and collective efforts are critical to further strengthening the security and stability of the region while safeguarding our citizens in Puerto Rico and the US Virgin Islands from this threat. You're up to date with the Regional Roundup. I am Clifton James.
This is the MTV Evening News. We'll be back with you after the break.
The third segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with Arise Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Request, repay, repeat with Ariza's FlexiCredit Evergreen Loan Facility. Qualify for a FlexiCredit with limits up to $25,000 or use your home equity to qualify for more. Extra cash at your fingertips whenever you need it, accessed using your debit card and managed using AMI, Ariza's mobile internet experience app. FlexiCredit allows you the flexibility to top up to your approved limit any day, anytime. Already a member? Send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987. New members join today to apply. Request, repay, repeat. Use your FlexiCredit for vacations, shopping, wedding, general expenses, and more. Ariza loan terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
You're watching the MTV Evening News. Sporting highlights are next.
The NLA is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the Multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more, or free plays. With Multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more with Multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Dengue is a flu-like illness spread by the bite of an Aedes mosquito infected with the dengue virus. The Aedes mosquito can breed even in a small amount of water accumulated in any container-like object. Severe headache, pain behind the eyes, nausea and vomiting, high fever with 2 or more of the following symptoms: severe muscle and joint pain, a rash on the skin. Consult a doctor and do as advised. If advised hospital admission, do so immediately. If advised home-based care, take plenty of fluids, nutritious food and paracetamol for fever and pain. Prevent mosquito breeding and protect against mosquito bites. There is no treatment for dengue, but dengue can be prevented.
What you gonna do when the rain is coming down? Nothing more to do when there's no one else around. Bring it back to the middle, push, take it back to the rhythm. Keep it up for good when the sky's falling down. All you gotta do is to bring it to the ground. Hit it up to your inner move. Stop, start, down. Nobody can get what you're going through.
In our part of the world, we need to be prepared for natural disasters like storms and hurricanes, even outside of the season. I'm sure you'll agree that keeping our loved ones, homes, and businesses safe is important. So, I came up with a few quick tips to help you stay safe. First, make a family disaster plan and ensure that everyone in your household is familiar and comfortable with it. Remember to add batteries and flashlights to your emergency kit. Don't be caught off guard by natural disasters. Prepare now. For more information, visit grenlec.com.
It's the 4th edition of Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year promotion. Cuatro Punto Cero. It's unbelievably amazing. You can win free fuel, free drinks, cash prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free cable, TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free passes to Sunshine Promotion events for 2023, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a lunch package. Be sure to fill out the entry forms and enter it into the marked entry boxes at all Hubbard's departments and at participating outlets. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2023. Draws will be held every 2 weeks. Terms and conditions apply.
Kirani James grabs gold at Diamond League. That highlight and more definitely coming up for you in our sporting segment.
The MTV Evening Sports is brought to you in association with Courts, bringing value home.
What you gonna do when the rain is coming down? Nothing more to do when there's no one else around. Bring it back to the middle, push, take it back to the rhythm. Keep it up for good when the sky's falling down. All you gotta do is to bring it to the ground. Hit it up to your inner move. Stop, start, down. Nobody can get what you're going through.
A special evening to you now, sporting fans. Let's join Donella Hostin for this evening's sporting highlights.
Good evening, sporting fans. On Saturday, Grenada's Kirani James placed first in the men's 400 meter in the 2023 Xiamen Diamonds League in China with a time of 44.38. Placing second was Quincy Hall of the United States of America, and placing third was Rasheen McDonald from Jamaica. Here are some highlights of that race.
McDonald still leads, although beginning to move strongly through now is Quincy Hall. And Kirani James in the blue shorts, fourth from right. James in lane 4 with a slight lead as they come into the straight. Great running from Haydock Wilson on the inside too. The Britons run a fantastic first 350, but look at this battle for the lead. Kirani James and Quincy Hall, who's going to get there?
Grenadian cyclist Red Walters placed second on Tuesday and topped it off with a remarkable stage win at the Tour of Bulgaria. In a Facebook post, Walters said, and I quote, "We had a plan, we executed it perfectly. I believe we could do it, and I'm just unbelievably grateful to the team for the lead out to get me there. Everyone pulled through and contributed to the win. Very much a team victory. It's so nice to get my first UCI win after trying so hard for so long. Sometimes you have to wonder if you're crazy for believing so strongly that something is achievable. And then we proved you can never set your sights too high. Determination is infinite." End of quote. On Monday, MTV Sports spoke with world-renowned former West Indian cricketer Junior Murray about the Junior Murray Cricket Academy, which started over 10 years ago and caters to youth between the ages of 5 and 18 and allows an environment for children to develop their athletic skills. The founder and head coach of the academy is Junior Murray.
Well, it's going pretty well. Some of the youngsters have been moving on to Grenada under 15s. You know, have a few kids play for Grenada under 15. Some of them moved on to St. George's under 15, you know, St. George under 19, Grenada under 19. So things are happening, but you know, it's a slow process, you know, so I'm hoping that at some day, at some time, that one of them can make it big and represent our senior team and also the West Indies team in the future.
Murray also said his academy needs any help it can get because it takes a lot.
In everything in the at least, you know, finance is always a big thing. You know, I've been doing this for, as I said, over 10 years now. I have a few sponsors on board, people like Glenel, Century 21, who with me from the foundation. You know, few sponsors came, left. You know, but you know, equipment is also a key thing. You know, some of the proper kiddies equipment we don't really get it here in Grenada, so you got to source it on the outside, and it's not really an easy task. So probably anybody listening to this interview, you know, and interested in the kids and development of kids and the future, you know, probably some business post or something could probably come on board and see what we can do for the youngsters.
A Grenadian contingent of 4 arrived in Tel Aviv, Israel on Saturday, September 2nd to participate in the World Aquatics Junior Swimming Championships. Netanya. The Junior Swimming Championships run from September 4th to 9th and will host swimmers and other aquatic competitors from around the world. The Grenadian team comprises 2 female national swimmers, Sarah Dowden and Gabrielle Hyson, and 1 male, Nathan Fletcher, as well as their coach, Gerson Escobar. Each of the swimmers has previously participated in several regional and international competitions. However, this will be their first participation in a world event. Before their departure, the swimmers had been engaged in training in preparation for these competitions. GASA extends best wishes to the team and anticipates great performances from each swimmer. And that's it for this evening's sports. I am Donella Hostan.
Thank you, Donello, for the latest sporting highlights there. And viewers, when we return, we'll have the public forecast information for you and then a recap of the main stories.
The MTV Evening Sports was brought to you in association with Quartz, bringing value home.
MTV Weather Report comes to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
We all care for our community. We are strong. Together, we are Grenada.
Good Monday evening, viewers. Back with your nighttime weather forecast and meteorologist Dwayne Williams. Lovely sunshine throughout the weekend continued into Monday as we saw very hot temperatures in the daytime, especially in the mid to the latter part of the afternoon. We did see some slight haze also. That haze has dissipated significantly as the visibility is now returning. We have a tropical wave in the far eastern Atlantic with an associated low pressure system. That is what we are monitoring at the current time. It is expected to develop into a tropical depression or even a tropical storm within the next 48 hours. An area of showers, some scattered showers to the was stretching to the far east of the islands. Most of those showers would occur south of Grenada, but there is a possibility that coming towards morning we could see a few. That depression is one that we are focusing on right now. It is being labeled as Tropical Depression 1. Within the next 2 days, there is a 90% chance that it would intensify. Upper level conditions are favorable for further development, so as it moves towards the west-northwest between 15 and 20 miles per hour, intensification is expected. Within the next 7 days, there is a 100% chance that it would develop into a depression or into a tropical storm. Right now, that area of showers extending to the far east of the islands. As I said, most of the showers are expected to fall or to occur south of Grenada over Trinidad and Tobago, but during the night time, especially coming to the latter part of the night, we could see an increase in showery activities throughout the island, mostly from central to the southern portion of Grenada. The forecast for Monday night, fair conditions at first, but some isolated to scattered showers developing towards morning. Winds will be still between 8 and 18 miles per hour. Minimum temperature 24 degrees Celsius. The moon is going to rise later at 10:02. It's going to set tomorrow morning at 11:05. Mostly fair conditions on Tuesday, but there still is about a 40% chance that we could get some of those morning showers into Tuesday. Winds would be easterly between 12 and 22 miles per hour. Normal seas 4 to 5 foot waves. Sunrise is 5:56, sunset 6:14. It's going to be hot in the afternoon again, as after the possibility of the morning showers, temperature will climb to 32 and feel like 36. Scattered showers are expected in Port of Spain, generally fair in Bridgetown. Some isolated showers for Kingston, lots of sunshine in Miami. A few clouds, partly cloudy in New York. Is going to be hot there, high of 34 is expected, and London should be sunny. Back here too, mostly to generally fair conditions are expected to continue from Wednesday onward. If that system does develop, it is expected to pass to the north of the islands. We may see some choppy seas from that on the northern and the northeastern coast, but as of now, we do expect fair conditions to continue and to prevail for the next 7 days. That is it for me for Monday night, folks. Have yourself a great night. Remember, you can join me again right here on Tuesday.
MTV Weather Report was brought to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
And now to end the news, a recap of the headlines. The Ministry of Education has launched its free tuition program. Public outcry over vandalism of signs at the Seamoon Bridge. A government minister involved in a vehicle accident over the weekend. And in sport, congratulations to our Kirani James, who's grabbed gold at the Diamond League. We'll have details to these and other stories, or have them, along with the public forecast information. And so now, on behalf of the news and production departments, I'm Tony Julian. We all thank you for viewing and wish you a good night.
At Bailey's Funeral Home, we understand the pain and grief you experience when you suffer the loss of a loved one. For years, we have helped thousands of families get through that difficult time by providing professional funeral services to meet their unique needs. Whether your choice is cremation or burial, call us or come into our new facility on the Carenage and meet with our arrangers in a spacious and comfortable environment. Choose from a wide variety of quality coffins and caskets at prices from as low as $1,900. At Bailey's Funeral Home, we believe that no one should feel overwhelmed or anxious about funeral expenses. So when it's time to plan a funeral, join a burial society, or make pre-arrangements when service and costs matter, call Bailey's Funeral Home at 440-2558 or visit us at baileysfuneralhome.org. Bailey's Funeral Home, still providing the perfect tribute any family can afford.
Police Constable 430 Leon James Cox, also known as Foot, of Lasaja St. David, attached to the Port Police Station, passed away on Thursday, August 10, 2023, at the age of 56. Left to mourn his children Lennon Cox, Dylan and Zillon Hagley, mother Ernestine Cox, close companion Samantha Hagley, brothers and sisters Terry Cox, Cindy Cox Frank, Sherman, Brandon, Yvette, Michelle, Cheryl and Abigail McMeo, aunts and uncles Sonny Boy Cox, Roy Guillaume, Samuel McMeo, Nola Cox, Cecilia Ridgway, Frank and Frankie Etienne. Many nieces and nephews too numerous to mention. Other relatives and friends including Ken and Anne-Marie Calder, Anna Alexander, Sheila Reese, the Fletcher family of Apritute, the Wilson family of Bellevue, the Belmore family of Crowshoe, and members of the Royal Grenada Police Force. The funeral of the late Police Constable 430 Leon James Cox, also known as Foot, of Lasaja St. David, will take place on Tuesday, September 5th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Children of the Light Spiritual Baptist Church, Lasaja St. David, and interment will be at the Bellevue Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Randolph John Greenidge, also known as Poissy and Broku, of Windsor Forest, St. David, who resided at Dunfermline, St. Andrew, passed away on Tuesday, August 1st, 2023, at the age of 84. He was the father of Sandra Jones in the USA, Shonda Polydor in Canada, Dexter Charles, Leroy and Junior in Grenada, Joey and Glenn in the USA, and Amoy Abraham. Grandfather of 29, including Jermaine Abraham, Keisha Martin Modeste, Kira Nayak, Kishon, Godlin and Kimon Martin, Kishana Harris, Jonelle Millett, Brendan Joseph, Jeffrey and Jeremy Williams, Michaela Bruno, Joey Ann Williams, Cherish Bishop, Navea and Jumaine Williams. Great-grandfather of 16, brother of Lawrence, also known as Dick, Lincoln and Rudolph in Trinidad, Agnes Seegers in the USA, Dominic, also known as Domo, and Denise Greenidge Decoto in Grenada. Father-in-law of Augustus Jones, brother-in-law of Yvonne Greenidge in Trinidad, Aldolcia George, Claudette Wickham, Jacqueline Abraham, Reginald Decoto, Vincent Charles and Rodney Charles. Many nieces and nephews including Judith, Celia, Glenn, Jude, Tyrone, Tony and Junior. Niece-in-law and caretakers Cindy McDonald and Katisha Chaitan. Many other close family and friends including the Greenidge, Abraham, Williams, Charles, Telesford, Mitchell, Mackenzie, Jeffrey, Walters and Filbert families, past and present employees of Grenlec, and friends and neighbours of Dunfermline, Pearls, Paradise, Seamoon, Mount Horn, and Windsor Forest. The funeral of the late Randolph John Greenwich of Windsor Forest, St. David, who resided at Dunfermline, St. Andrew, will take place on Wednesday, September 6th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Paradise RC Church, and interment will be at the Dunfermline Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Home. Mary Elizabeth Sylvester, also known as Dulcie Sylvester, of Mount Craven, St. Patrick, who resided at Dayforce Springs, St. George, passed away on Friday, 18th August 2023, at the age of 91. She was the mother of Terrell, Sergeant Kenneth Sylvester, and his twin Henry, also known as Big and Little, and Claudia in Canada. Adopted mother of Kenrick Jeremiah in the USA. Grandmother of 10, including Brandon Kenneth Noel in the UK, and Micah Sylvester. Great-grandmother of Lily Noel, Yuri, and Zakai Sylvester. Aunt of many, including Rosalind Cato, Michael Cato, Gemma Cato Mark, Anthony Cato, Veronica Martin, Patricia and Linda Toussaint, and Judith Lewis McKay. Grand aunt of many, including the Toussaints of Saters and McRodney, the Martins in Trinidad and Tobago and in the USA, Stephanie, Paul, and Levi Gordon. Mother-in-law of 2, including Fiona Sylvester. Caregiver, Nella Joseph. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends, including brothers and sisters of the Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, Woodlands, Saters, and throughout Grenada, Stephen, Alice and Olivia White, Thaddeus Bartholomew and family, the Cato family of Mali, the Kwamina family in Trinidad, Bob and Bonita Chapman, Joan Lawrence and family, Rebecca Charles, Maria Batiste and family, the McKay family of Mount Rodney, the Lewis family of Backstreet and Mount Craven, and friends and neighbours of Mount Craven, Mount Rodney, Shantimel and Dayforce Springs, St. George. The funeral of the late Mary Elizabeth Sylvester, also known as Dulcie Sylvester, of Mount Craven, St. Patrick, who resided at Dayforce Springs, St. George, will take place on Wednesday, September 6th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses, La Fortune, St. Patrick, and interment will be at the Marley Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Home. Jerome Oliver Joseph of River Sally, St. Patrick, passed away on Tuesday, August 8, 2023, at the age of 71. Left to mourn his wife Linda Joseph, father of Norris Joseph and Miles Roberts, brother of Henry Joseph and Dennis Sylvester, Aunt Ambrosina Sylvester, brother-in-law of Antoinette Joseph, Jane Peters, Jean Harrow, Mary and Catherine George, Henry, Hennessy, Ivan and Leslie George. Other relatives and close friends including Frederick and Betty Joseph and family, Elizabeth George and family, Donald and Patricia Taylor and family, Anthony Taylor and family, Chris Lee Harris and family, Betty J. Joseph and family, the Sylvester and Joseph families of River Sally. Special friends including Ashley James, Lloyd Herry, Kenneth Dwarika, Leslie McQueen and family, Eversley Felix and family, the management and staff of Ideal Bakery Limited. The funeral service for the late Jerome Oliver Joseph of River Sally, St. Patrick, will take place on Thursday, September 7th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the River Sally Roman Catholic Church, and interment will be at the River Sally Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Home.
Shirley Ann Johnson, also known as Bubsy of Madagascar St. George, a former employee of Whiskers Shipping, passed away on Monday, 21st August, at the age of 36. Left to cherish her memories, her children, Kavisha and Timothy Johnson, parents, Francis Modeste and Joycelyn Johnson, companion, Dylan Brathwaite, siblings, Shanika James, Sean Alexander, Kira Sanderson, Simone Victor, Chanel, Shanna Lisa and Shondell Noel, Shakira and Stanley Fortune, stepdaughter, Colin Modeste. Many nieces and nephews including Shalisa, Keyshawn, Joshua, Shanna, and Aiden. Many aunts and uncles including Gregory Modeste, Felix Smith, and Stella Warwood. Other family and friends including Miss Dean, Colin Smith and family, co-workers at Whiskers Shipping, the Smith family of Madiga and Boca, the Noel family of Bellevue, the Johnson family of Bellevue, Grand Mall, friends and neighbors in Madiga, St. Paul's, Bellevue, and the surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Shirley Ann Johnson, also known as Boopsie of Madiga St. George, will take place on Thursday, 7th September at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the People's Church, St. Paul's, followed by a private cremation. No flowers by request. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Ralph Regis, also known as Ralph Hutchinson, Redwood and Yellow, of Grand Bras St. Andrew, a retired police corporal number 520, attached to the fire department at Central Station, died on Sunday, August 6, 2023, at the age of 58. He was the husband of Rosemary Charles, adopted son of Eileen Wall Vincent, father of 7, J.D. and Nikisha Noel in Canada, Celine Joseph Phillip in the USA, Vonil Noel in Trinidad, Krista Mitchell, Rondell Hutchinson, and Mia Regis in Grenada, stepfather of Blondell and family in the United Kingdom, grandfather of 9, brother of Brian, Suzanne, Trisha, Wayne and Ian DeCole, and Crystal Murray, brother-in-law of many including Anthony, Rachel, Samantha and Rose Charles, caregivers Catherine Vincent, and police chaplain PC number 254 Curlin Matthew, many nieces and nephews too numerous to mention, son-in-law of Maureen and Zephyrin Charles, other relatives and friends including Matthew, Carl, Buff, the DeCole and Johnson families, Monica Regis and family, the Noel family of Grand Bras, officers attached to the Royal Grenada Police Force Fire Department, Central Station, and voluntary firefighters, Sisters of St. Martin's Retreat Center, members of St. Andrew the Apostle RC Church, doctors and nurses of the Nephrology Department and Male Medical Ward of the General Hospital, and neighbors and friends of Grand Bras and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Ralph Regis, also known as Ralph Hutchinson, Redwood and Yellow, of Grand Bras St. Andrew, will take place on Thursday, September 7th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Andrew the Apostle RC Church, followed by interment at the Grand Bras Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Arthur Phillip, better known as Clifford Antoine and Cesar, of Conference St. Andrew, passed away on Tuesday, August 1st, 2023, at the age of 86. He was the husband of Soteria Phillip, father of Stephanie, Dexter, Kester, Alex, Emric, Ricka, and Henny, grandfather of Karine, Keston, Andrea, Kieron, Brianna, Ken, and Javel, great-grandfather of 2, great-great-grandfather of 1, grandson-in-law Jason Christopher, brother of Edric and Peter Thomas and Euler, brother-in-law of Frank Barry, father-in-law of Teresa Phillip and Lydia Edgar, uncle of Sandra, Laslin, Ralph, Neil, and many others, cousin of Tony Francois and family, Bernard and Rita and family, Helena and family, and the Antoine family of Soubise. Many other relatives and close friends, including Hermelin and Fitzroy Francis, Helena Augustus, John McSween, Anastasia Bernard, Lyris and Joe, Delaney and family, Anne Phillip, Mr. and Mrs. Sukram, Gerard Paul, Josephine, Dr. Bernard and nurses at the Tivoli Medical Station, Kenneth Paul and the congregation of the Moya Seventh-day Adventist Church, the priest and parishioners of Tivoli and Moya RC churches, and friends and neighbors of Conference, Carriere, Moya, and Soubise St. Andrew. The funeral service for the late Arthur Phillip, better known as Clifford Antoine and Cesar, of Conference St. Andrew, will take place on Thursday, September 7th at 1:30 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Gerard's Roman Catholic Church, and entombment will be at the Carriere Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Wayne's Funeral Home.
Thomas Mitchell, also known as Zuku of Latan St. David, passed away on Tuesday, 11th July, at the age of 56. He was the son of Miss Worthy Catherine Mitchell, father of Linnell Seeley, Brother of Winston Mitchell, Wilma Mitchell Boucard in Canada, Kimberly Calder, and Annette Andrew in the USA. Uncle of Minnie in the USA, Canada, and Grenada. Brother-in-law of Pamela Mitchell in Grenada, and Freddie Boucard in Canada. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including the Scott, Mitchell, Glean, Gilliam, Celestine, Cox, Belma, Singh, Mark, and Noel families of Latant, Crowshoe, PTS Prince, Pomerose, St. John, Westerhall, Mamacans, Canada and the USA, and friends and neighbors of Latant and the surrounding areas. The funeral service of the late Thomas Mitchell, also known as Zuku of Latant St. David, will take place on Thursday, 7th September at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Martin de Porres Roman Catholic Church, Crowshoe St. Andrew, and the interment will be at the Churchyard Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Agneta Elizabeth Felix, also known as Celeste of Latant St. David, passed away on Saturday, 26th August, at the age of 80. She was a wife of Martin Lumphreys, mother of Marcel Celestine, Dale Celestine in Canada, and Kim Celestine in Trinidad, grandmother of Nishon, Oski, Ashton, Keishon, Caden, and Ashel, great-grandmother of Amelia, Nathan, Zane, Neriah, Kai, Eden, and Kira, niece of Worthy Mitchell, sister of Bede, Blacks, Alma, Kathleen, and Willen, Irma, and Peter in Trinidad, aunt of many including Christine, Jean, Martin, Sharon, Imran, Jr., also known as Fox, Deborah, and Debbie in the USA. Many cousins, other relatives, and close friends including Wilma and Wilton Mitchell, Terry Cox, Brenda Hankey, Joycelyn Francois, Brother Joe, the Celestine, Felix, Lapompe, Mitchell and Regis families from Roukine, Latant and Mamacans, friends and neighbors of Latant and the surrounding areas. The funeral service of the late Agneta Elizabeth Felix, also known as Celeste, of Latant St. David, will take place on Thursday, 7th September at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Martin de Porres Roman Catholic Church, Crowshoe St. Andrew, and the interment will be at the Churchyard Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit or call Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Ethelene Veronica Richardson of Nunperel St. Mark passed away on Saturday, August 5, 2023, at the age of 74. She was the mother of Patterson and Johnson Richardson, Neil and Ron Richardson in the USA, and Elmer and Jesse Richardson in Canada. Grandmother of 15 including Rima, Shanice, Jada, Jaden, Akim, Paige, Ashley, Shakira, Rocky, Janae, and Neloni. Great-grandmother of 12 including Catania, Shyla, and Shanor. Great-great-grandmother of Kia Narayan. Sister of Stella Caliste and Kathleen Richardson in Trinidad, Anne, Matthew, Dennis and Francis David in England, Anthony Richardson, also known as Say, and Frederick Richardson. Mother-in-law of Valen Richardson, Nestor, Tracy, Wayne, and Carl. Aunt of many including Pastor Arnold Bartholomew, Jeffrey Kelly, Vernon, Caroline, David Carey Richardson, Glenda, Ralston, and Kishon. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends including Thelma Edwards, Gemma Dialli, Miss Princess, Vi in England, Brownie McQueen, Grace and Cheryl, Kathleen Warren, Joman and Neville Trotman, Agnes and Sonny Benjamin, Arnica, Earlis Fletcher, the Peters and Edwards family of Nunperel, the Bartholomew family, the Honourable Joseph Andel and family, Dr. Jude Mills and family, Sean Charles, Brent Edwards, Monica, James and Charles of Victoria and Duquesne, members of the Duquesne and Victoria Catholic Church, Madeleine and Bella George, and friends and neighbours of Nunperel and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Ethelene Veronica Richardson of Nunperel St. Mark will take place on Friday, September 8th at 12 noon. Funeral service will be held at the Sauters Roman Catholic Church, and interment will be at the Morley Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Carson Albert Louison, also known as Papa Carson, Grandpa, Brother Carson, and Mr. Louison of Black Bay St. John, who resided as Grandad St. George, the U.S. and Trinidad, passed away on Sunday, 28th August, at the age of 86. The funeral arrangements of the late Carson Albert Louison, also known as Papa Carson, Grandpa, Brother Carson, and Mr. Louison of Black Bay St. John, who resided as Grandad St. George, the U.S. and Trinidad, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Derek Ivan John, also known as DJ, of Montjelou St. George, retired superintendent of His Majesty's prisons, passed away on Monday, August 28, 2023, at the age of 65. The funeral arrangements for the late Derek Ivan John, also known as DJ, of Montjelou St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Teresa Antoine, also known as Cooley, of Central Guava State St. John, who resided in Montreal, Canada, passed away on Wednesday, August 23, 2023, at the age of 59. The funeral arrangements for the late Teresa Antoine, also known as Cooley, of Central Guava State St. John, who resided in Montreal, Canada, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Alistair Jerome McEwen, also known as Movie, of Brooklyn Concord St. John, died on Wednesday, August 23, 2023, at the age of 67. The funeral arrangements for the late Alistair Jerome McEwen, also known as Movie, of Brooklyn Concord St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Charmaine Nicole Mark, née Penny, of Boca St. George, who resided in Trinidad, passed away on Tuesday, 22nd August 2023 in Trinidad at the age of 49. The funeral arrangements for the late Charmaine Nicole Mark, née Penny, of Boca St. George, who resided in Trinidad, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Vondel Cyrus George of Latost, who resided at Lamode St. Patrick, passed away on Sunday, August 13, 2023, at the age of 67. The funeral arrangements for the late Vondel Cyrus George of Latost, who resided at Lamode St. Patrick, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Shamel Alexis of Syracuse St. David, who resided at Mount Kumar St. George, passed away on Monday, 21st August 2023, at the age of 33. The funeral arrangements for the late Shamel Alexis of Syracuse St. David, who resided at Mount Kumar St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Felicia Lucinta Cador of Montu St. George, who resided in the United Kingdom, passed away on Wednesday, June 14, 2023, at the age of 29. The funeral arrangements for the late Felicia Lucinta Cador of Montu St. George, who resided in the United Kingdom, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Philip Augustine George of Pedmotar St. David passed away on Saturday 19th August 2023 at the age of 50. The funeral arrangements for the late Philip Augustine George of Pedmotar St. David will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Crofton Alston St. Louis, also known as Croffy, of Sater St. Patrick, who resided at Westerhall St. David and in England, passed away on Sunday 13th August 2023 at the age of 83. The funeral arrangements for the late Crofton Alston St. Louis, also known as Croffy, of Sater St. Patrick, who resided at Westerhall St. David and in England, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Lennon Hailing, also known as I Know, of St. Paul St. George, passed away on Monday 14th August 2023 at the age of 37. The funeral arrangements for the late Lennon Hailing, also known as I Know, of St. Paul St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Teresa Dorcas Mason, also known as Granny and Ma'a, of Guave Estate St. John, passed away on Saturday 19th August 2023 at the age of 91. The funeral arrangements for the late Teresa Dorcas Mason, also known as Granny and Ma'a, of Guave Estate St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Mary Henry Lett, also known as Tanty Mary, of Upper Capital Birchgrove St. Andrew, who resided at Vincent St. David, passed away on Monday 14th August 2023 at the age of 78. The funeral arrangements for the late Mary Henry Lett, also known as Tanty Mary, of Upper Capital Birchgrove St. Andrew, who resided at Vincent St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. John Chesterfield Marast, of Upper St. John St. Andrew, who resided at Springs St. George, passed away on Sunday 13th August 2023 at the age of 76. The funeral arrangements for the late John Chesterfield Marast, of Upper St. John St. Andrew, who resided at Springs St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Lucia Smart, also known as Lucia Jeffrey, of Shantymel St. Patrick, died on Tuesday, August 8th, 2023, at the age of 93. The funeral arrangements for the late Lucia Smart, also known as Lucia Jeffrey, of Shantymel St. Patrick, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Eslyn Paisody, also known as May, of Clocher St. John, who resided at Grand Anse Valley St. George, passed away on Tuesday 8th August 2023 at the age of 63. The funeral arrangements for the late Eslyn Paisody, also known as May, of Clocher St. John, who resided at Grand Anse Valley St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thank you for watching.